If there is one car that has given Lexus the old man image it's currently working so hard to shed, it's the front drive midsize ES. Now, when it came to redesigning that car, instead of shoring up the previous generation's weaknesses and adding some marketing spin, Lexus decided to work with the strengths of the car, realizing that it has a very unique position in the marketplace and that they can take advantage of that. And so this is what they've come up with, the 2013 6th generation Lexus ES. And with none of Lexus's conventional German rivals competing in this segment, it's really allowed them to take their IS sedan and focus it more on the sporty side of things and move the ES further up market, actually changing it from a Camry-based midsize vehicle to a full-size sedan based off the upcoming Avalon platform. And with that added size comes added style, starting at the front of the car with Lexus's new trademark spindle grille, giving the car a much more aggressive yet mature look. Now on top of that, we've got LED daytime running lights, and Lexus has raised the beltline of the car, and from a profile it looks a lot more like the flagship LS, which by no means is a bad thing. First, I should point out that with added size comes added interior room, particularly in the back seat. Despite the fact that the car is only 1 inch longer over last year's model, there's an added 4 inches of rear seat legroom. There's also solid trunk room with 15 cubic feet on the V6 models and still a pretty reasonably good 12 cubic feet on the hybrid models. And for the first time on the ES, there's an optional power trunk lid. The interior of this car is absolutely beautiful, although it is quite simplistic in true Lexus fashion. What's important to look at here is the materials and the attention to detail. One really important item is the hand stitching on the dash and on the steering wheel. Now that's actually done by what Lexus calls takumis, which are the highest level of people working in the assembly process, and there's actually only 12 of them employed by the company. Other really important items to note in here is the bamboo on the dash. That's specific to the hybrid model, and if you opt for the V6, you'll get a maple trim interior. Standard equipment includes the list of goodies you might expect on a model like this, including 10-way power front seats. You also get 10 standard airbags, as well as Lexus's smart key system with a push-button ignition, something no luxury car should be without. Also standard is a 7-inch display screen on the dash, although of course you can upgrade to an 8-inch unit with navigation, and there's Lexus's remote touch interface system right here, which allows you to sort of feel your way across the screen, really a unique feature to the Lexus models. For 2013, Lexus is finally offering a powertrain option for the car. You can get the base car is a 3.5-liter V6 in the ES 350, making 268 horsepower, and it gets 21 miles per gallon in the city and 31 on the highway. Now what's new is the ES 300H model. It's a hybrid using essentially the same system found in the Camry hybrid and makes 200 horsepower. Now it gets 39 miles per gallon in the city and 40 in the highway for a combined 39 miles per gallon, which is actually 30% more efficient than the Fiat 500. The new ES is certainly sportier than before, although it's hard to ignore the car's larger size, especially when you get into some twistier corners. Now, to sort of improve the driving feel on the car, Lexus has done a few important things. From a driver's perspective, they've improved the side bolsters on the seats. The steering has actually been brought down a little bit in terms of the angle, just to make sure the steering wheel is right in front of you. And they've actually improved the steering responsiveness as well, so it's a little bit better. All models get a drive mode selector right on the dash, and that lets you choose between a normal, eco, and sport mode. As well, if you're driving the hybrid, you get an EV mode for a very limited electric-only range. With the V6 powered car with 268 horsepower, it goes really good no matter what mode you're in. Sport makes a mild improvement, and the eco mode just sort of dulls the throttle response to help you get a little better fuel economy. The same is true of the hybrid, but the change is much more dramatic. If you do put in sport mode though, because of the CVT transmission and the electric motor, the responsiveness is really good, especially when you're coming out of a corner. As soon as you touch the throttle, the power's there and it just pulls you right out. And we actually wish we could get some of that better responsiveness from the hybrid in the more performance-oriented V6 model. With some minor gripes about steering intricacies and the sometimes hard-to-use remote touch interface, the car's new larger size can also be seen as a drawback. Those details aside, it looks great, it rides nicely, and it has a true luxury interior. Plus, there's a lot of standard equipment and a lot of extra add-on options should you want them. And as though all that weren't compelling enough, the Lexus ES now finally comes as a hybrid model. And while there are some trade-offs to the V6 engine with over 50% better fuel economy, the hybrid is the one to get.